click record if you want to have a recording of this. So let's see if this works this time. And then we're going to look at these websites. A site clinic is a quick diagnosis of a website based on all the data that we could get, well prepared, maybe for days in the crawling. But we spent 10 to 15 minutes per website and look at the most critical issues. We will see negative SEO problems. We will see site problems, redirects on the site. We might see some spammy links going there. Kamil already gave me a little hint that there are some really not safe for work websites, Korean porn websites linking to some legit business websites, and you don't want any weird not safe for work links to your legit sites. Just so you know.
Just to stay on the safe side, I'm not going to open any of the websites because I don't really remember which ones are porn or which ones are not.
Guys, one thing is sure, this is not the intention to show any porn websites. And for instance, in link research tools, we also have the link detox screener. This screener is a little bit slower than opening the website. You know why? Because we strip out a lot of stuff. We take away the beautiful CSS, because a website with a great CSS doesn't make a great link. It's a good-looking website, And we also take away scripts that could inject viruses, scripts that could, maybe infect your computer if you have your, virus scanner disabled. When looking at these websites, you don't want to be in danger. You want to decide if you disavow them or not. So, for example, all these things happen in the screener that we, now have built in as well. And people are coming in still. Timo, great to see you here. Robert, Matthew, Mike, Lumla, Graham, too many of you. Bernhard is here as well. And yeah, for those that don't know it, we got a Q&A panel here as well. So if you ask a question, it will go there and you can vote for other people's questions. So no need to post the same question over and over again. Please give a thumbs up for those questions that are interesting to you, and we'll try to process them top down. And we also have questions answered in between, if we see something popping up that fits right in there, but usually after the end of a website audit where, Kamil and I already talk so much and try to focus on, what we show. Okay, so yeah, and it was a pleasure to meet your dad last year. Lovely guy, say hi for me. Comes from Rick. I did that just now, and I think we can start. Thank you, Rick. And we start by sharing our screens. Kamil has his screen prepared, but I have my screens prepared as well. And we agreed that I start with the first website here. Right, Kamil?
Yeah, definitely.
So here's the Guzdek website. I hope I pronounced this right. And you should see that in a moment when I share the screen. Guzdek. Okay. And this is the website from Mike, who suggested it and was one of the first ones who suggested this is why it comes up first. We already see that we have some disavows in here. So we uploaded disavows to the system. And what we see here in general, on this domain overview is the detox risk. For those that don't know, it's already outdated because we messed around with it already and could get a little bit more precise. So this might jump to 2,100 or 2,300. In any case, everything above 1,000 means you risk a penalty or you already have a penalty. And when I say penalty, I actually mean maybe also a Google Penguin filter. So just because Google did not send you a manual action doesn't mean you are not held back by bad links. And the motto is, and even Google says that ranking without links is really, really hard. But ranking with the wrong links is also hard because they hold you back. This is what Penguin 4.0 in September 2016 made at least faster to respond. So bad links, you clean up, and your goal is, the objective is to get below 1,000. I mean, some industries have a higher average risk, but 2,200 certainly, Mike, is too high. And so the next thing that we see here are issues that we found in the system. These are automated suggestions from the system to you based on all the data. We have so much data that our problem here with the redesign. This is what we call Link Research Tool Smart that we worked on for a while. This redesign had one objective: try to make people see less, try to hide functionality, try to hide data, yeah, and maybe translate it in a way that you have a more actionable way. And this is what we see here. So for example, you have very high risk links with unavailable status. This means you have links that were there and currently we could not crawl them. And some link tools like Majestic or I think Ahrefs does this as well, and SEMrush, they call these deleted links. But they're not deleted, they're unavailable. These are links where the bot goes and the domain doesn't respond fast enough or doesn't respond at all. Doesn't mean the link is gone, because like us, Google has the problem that it cannot verify if the link is gone or not. And this is actually part of a negative SEO pattern that is quite popular and gets more and more popular over the years. And when you see some of these things, you see there are some links, with low 1500 is still high risk, that were there and maybe are still there. And the Google engineer says they may still be in the system, in the Google system. So also Google cannot verify that these links are gone. So our recommendation, for example, is to disavow them on a domain level. It works like this: one click to fix, and these 170 links are gone. When you try to review them again, they magically disappeared. Well, actually, just this filter disappeared, and all we need to do is, remove the filter again to see them again, right? And possibly in here, we might say, yeah, I always wanted to have a link from DC-A8F8 something submission web directory dot something, and I totally believe that this is a legit link, When we click on the source, of course it's not, right? And when we click on the source preview, some of you might complain, oh, this takes so long. Well, this is not available. But just for this example, you would be able to undisavow this then in a moment. And these links would be back again.
I think this is a very interesting discussion here, because there is a lot of misinformation, or that some of the people are not really aware that you can actually earn links even without doing it. That you just keep your website in, you just index it, and you get 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 backlinks to your website.
Yeah.
Simply because some other spammer is pretty much copying your website to some other URL, including your Google Analytics data and some other stuff, which is really bad. And you might not even know about it until you start reviewing your backlinks.
Exactly. And one other name for this is scraper links. So there's a scheme going on the web where people just create links to your website. And when you then do some backlink checker, you go to their website and they may offer you to remove that link. They charge you $5. And I've been in this industry for 17 years now, and this doesn't go away. And the only reason people operate hundreds of thousands of these domains, the most popular one is the Globe, is because it probably works. If you create trillions of links, of really bad links to people that might eventually find it and pay you $5, if you have millions of people paying you $5, you suddenly can rename your brand to Netflix or something. I know that's more expensive now, but apparently it works. And this amount of links is toxic from some point on. So if you have some of those, they might not get you in trouble. And Google even says, we can find some of these patterns. And of course they can find some of these patterns. They better do. But can you be sure that they handle all of the patterns, that they find all of the domains, that they don't count any of those? I don't know. I've heard so many promises.
There used to be a very huge discussion back in the day, right, about the patterns, how they are being found, whether, for instance, the reviewers, the guys who are reviewing how their search results are being displayed, are also checking for it. And
it's just people. It's the same cat and mouse game. It's people here, it's people there, right? And here are some SEOs or some black hat SEOs, and here are some Google people. And if you follow Google a little bit, you know, they have a lot of different interests. And their major interest is not fixing the search engine to make the best search engine. Their main interest is to sell ads in the most efficient way and get the most clicks out of it. So my recommendation, our recommendation has been for years to always disavow proactively. So when we find 540 links with a very high risk, these are also links that some of them are there and a lot of them are broken, but 387 are for sure were just found, I think yesterday or so, 16 hours ago, right? And this is also important to understand. When we crawl, when we prepare such an analysis, we crawl all the links completely. This is what we call one of the USPs, one of the major values of link research tools is to give you a picture, a snapshot of everything on the web. And when you compare this to other systems, they usually have a range of, 10% being current and 20% being a month old, and then 50% maybe not recrawled for 5 years. And with 5-year-old data, I don't want to work. And that was actually my motivation to build link research tools in the beginning. So back to this link here, this law link profile. This is something, where Mike maybe knows better. If this is a legit website, because, obviously attorneys have their business industry directories, and law link, I don't know, might be an attorney network. And it's the first social network for the legal community in the US, obviously, and I don't know, maybe in some state there. No, this is Toronto. Sorry, Canada. And so, when you look at this with all the fancy schmancy CSS, it might look a little bit weird, but focus on the question, is this a link that makes sense? And for me, if this is we assume this is a legit business directory, and this is an entry in that business directory. And of course, here's the phone number and the blog. No, they don't have a blog, a map, and a link to the website. I would say, yeah, man, this is a negative link velocity, and this link itself has not, a lot of additional links to it, like 0 external links go to this page. But hey, it's where attorneys like we are. So this is an okay link. And when we say okay to this link in the future, it will not show up as maybe suspicious as we see here, right? There are a couple rules showing up, but this is not the worst link in the world. And the more you train the system like this, the better it gets. When we do some sorting here, by risk, you see that some of these links are, in the 2,600, 2,300, are a lot worse. Detox risk is really the metric that tells you how important your attention is, right? And you see some of these online legal consultation links look fine. And don't worry, we don't need to go through all these 5,000 links one by one. I'm just showing you some examples here. But this one here, has a couple links on it. And we see that the Toronto DUI lawyers link here, that's a money keyword link. And that's right inside an article. It talks about the need to have a qualified DUI lawyer. Oh, well, yeah, if I get, caught driving drunken, never do that at home, guys, I know I need a DUI lawyer in the US, right? In Europe, you just go to jail right away or something like that. But, apparently things are different on different continents. When I look at this post here, I'm not 100% convinced that this is the most comprehensive article on why I would need a qualified DUI lawyer, and especially not if I have a money keyword link in here. So while from technical aspects, this might, be okay, we know that the anchor text placement looks suspicious, exactly what I just explained. And we know that our link detox Genesis machine learning classified this as a risky link because other people may have paid for links on this website. For example, we get these offers all the time and we train our system with that as well. We have thousands of penalties that we fixed where we see spam examples. So maybe Google gave a spam example for this website in the past about links like this one. And this is where the high risk also comes from. So yes, I would say this is a link that I need to disavow. And I'm not sure about Interlogic BMN, if that's important in your industry. To me, it sounds like an expired domain where someone set up a website to sell links.
Yeah, that was actually my perception when I was going through all the domains that are here, and I have to say that most of the directories, well, a lot of the directories, not most of them, were making sense. They were looking like local community business directories, which might make sense, but then again, some of them were duplicated one-to-one, and it's actually a little hard to catch when you're looking for it for the first time. So definitely something that you need to look into. But what you definitely don't want in here is directories which are not really connected to you, like they are not really local directories, or maybe they're about sports or whatever else, just for case to get a link.
Yeah, exactly. And we do have some type, where we look at the platform of the website and the topic, if we can extract one. And of course, if this is just another blog in the health space and you have a link that is actually not a link, but someone hot linking your images that you had from a cop giving away a ticket or a cop giving a ticket. No.
Yeah, this seems like a copy of a website.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So you could disavow this one. And let's zoom out a little bit, because I dove right into the links here. When we go back to the link profile, we still have so many to work off. If you think you are down in the rankings, I guarantee you, you can disavow them. If we say very high risk is found, you will disavow them. And eventually another rule here will pop up and say, hey, look, here's a link disavowed that actually looks okay. So we got, rules here that tell you what to do. And this might be a more Machete approach. And then we have another one as you keep working that tells you, but this link is actually a nice one. Yeah. I mean, you could do the same. You go in here, look at everything that you disavowed, and could do again something like the sorting here by the strength of the link. ADP. Let's look at the active ones. Standard question, why do you disavow removed links? Because I do not know if Google knows that they are removed. I do not know if all the bad links were actually recrawled. It takes months, sometimes years for link databases to keep up. And we have examples where the crawling of spammy links took 9 months. And we got a fix to speed that up, which is called Link Detox Boost. Of course, we don't want to wait 9 months for a recovery. And this is what Link Detox Boost is for. And you see this little red exclamation mark reminds you that there is something to boost already. There are some disavows made already. There are some changes made. And even if you disavow a link that is not there, or even if you undisavow, you need to make sure that gets crawled, because disavow command is only being processed when Google crawls the link. Okay, so back to this sorting, the one core media, one core dev looks like a web agency that have this in their portfolio. And it's also using the company name, Mastzang LLP. Yeah, here we go. So this is where SEO experience comes in. Do you think this is a paid link? Do you think Google would object this? Do you think this would get you into trouble? My personal opinion is, come on. You cannot, mark all the links as no follow. And because some people do that. Actually, they ignore no follows. I would focus on other things. Like here, we see all types of variations for the brand. So this mass Zenk or mass Zenk together is actually not yet classified here as brand. That's the name. Yeah. And the DUI lawyers, no wait, let's classify them all as brand. And DUI lawyers, this one is a compound keyword. Criminal barristers, solicitors. You know, this type of classification is something that you do once for your business, for your website, for your audit. And the more you classify, the more accurate things get. But when we don't, oh, you see all these Mustang lawyers and these are all combinations of the brand name and the money keyword. So these are compound keywords. We told the system that Mustang is the brand name, and all these others here are some money keywords that they would book on. Lawyers in Richmond Hill. That's a typical linking strategy. Toronto Mustang lawyers is another compound keyword. So, and with this classification, we now have the calculation here of the risk more precise. And what you might spot is that there are some really shady links coming from an HTTP with HTTP link text, anchor text. But these are not the ones that are worried too much. You know, some of them are unavailable that we disavowed already. I'm more worried about the money keyword links. Yeah. So when we look at these, Toronto criminal lawyers, Mustang DUI lawyers, DUI restricted borders. So let's look at all the keywords with DUI. Yeah, you can tell these guys are actually after the phrase DUI lawyers. I think there's a lot of drunk drivers everywhere. And so that's big business for you guys. And when you then zoom in, some of these, you know, the deep red ones are riskier than the other ones. And you can click here or here to just go there. And then that's a whole new slice and whole new way to look at. And these 16 results cost this huge entry in the breakdown. And now tell me, which of these would you actually want to keep? Advertising in Canada, directory advertisement.
That's shady.
It sounds like a link that you could buy for $100, Canadian dollars, US dollars, doesn't matter. Canada directory. You know, we take away all the layout and the design, but this still looks shadier than the previous directory. So here's another directory, and this one I would disavow for the simple reason that it looks made to sell ads. And it doesn't even have a phone number. Come on. If you're used to driving drunk, you have your lawyer on speed dial. If you don't have your lawyer on speed dial, what's the point of paying a retainer? And so how does this work here? How do I contact them to begin with? Right? So from, let me open this in a normal website. Come on. Now imagine, put yourself in the shoes of Google. You look at this website, and not Google the machine, but Google a person, someone, a spam engineer looking at this. Can you tell me which business value this link provides to the business, to the lawyer business? Here's some text, garbled around an image, a postal address, and that's it. No way in hell this is a real advertisement.
Actually, this is also very fun because the more you start looking into backlinks of particular domains, the more you start to have some patterns about how you work. So one way that you like, Christopher, from what I see, is looking into the links that are having anchor money keywords. I'm actually a fan of the other approach, where we are looking into websites that have dir inside of the name, so directory or all kind of directory alteration. And I remember there was 500 links in this particular profile, and each one was even better than the previous one. That there were, though, that I have to say that there were, I think I came across 10 that were making sense at some point. But they were really local, saying like, yeah, we are either in Canada, either in the Toronto business directory. So this perfectly makes sense. But otherwise, most of the directories are really not going to help you in anything.
Yeah, I get the point. This is for local SEO, for trying to optimize better rankings in the local SEO. So if someone Googles in DUI lawyer, but why can't you go the extra mile and put your freaking phone number there? It's just done wrong. It's. I wouldn't pay for this link. Come on. It's terrible link building. I can't believe it's 2020 and people build these types of links for other people, right? So I'm not, and this is just one example, but a link has to have a story. Every link has to have a story. And the story for this link is it had to be cheap, it had to be quick, so we couldn't spend too much time making it a good link, which is a pity. And if it's automated, you're doing the wrong kind of automation. And here's another thing, 35, and then we go to the next slide, and it's your turn. 35% of the pages that the links are on rank for 0 keywords. That's 0, nada, zilch, nil, no rankings. So 35% of your backlinks come from websites that don't rank for any word at all. Right, so you can take LRT Power Trust and Link Detox Risk and all the custom metrics that we built over the years for evaluating a backlink profile and say, nah, I don't need that Cemper stuff. I tell you, 35% of the websites that you have links on don't rank at all. What are you gonna do with those? Let's look at some. Source domains? Combat Zone, HK Butterfly, Economag US, National CBA. Looks like PBNs built on expired domains to me. Not because of the names, but because of these link velocity trends. Link velocity trend is the perfect metric to understand if a website is still alive. So these links up here, they still get some links. So there's a bunch of websites that maybe have some tier 2 or tier 3 linking going to it. But these are 10 out of 192. And we could make a filter to filter them out, but we don't even need to see that all of the others are 0, or even worse, negative. So ThinkTao.com, for example, was a website that maybe had some backlinks going to it some time ago, but not anymore. And this is where these static metrics come from. But link velocity trend tells you how did this develop over the last 6 months or the last 12 months. And this is the one metric that you can trust in addition to the number of ranking keywords, if this is a legit domain. And as you can see, we already disavowed some of those. Who did that? We. These data is combined together in the rules that we show you up front here, when we say when we recommend to disavow some of those domains, right? And there are other problems here that I see: high risk link to broken pages, where you should better do the disavow before you redirect. There's still 2,000 links not audited, and you even have high potential links to improve. Those are some links we could actually build links to.
There was one as well, a tool which I particularly like about link research tools, and it's that there was one saying that there is a link in your disavow that actually looks very good. So you should consider removing it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not for this website, but maybe for one of the next ones.
No, it was here. Maybe good links in disavow, undisavow.
Oh, yeah, this is exactly what I just mentioned before. We found disavowed links that looked like they could be helpful for you now. The web changes. This is why we do all the recrawling. I don't need 5-year-old data because the web just changed. And hey, it changed again. So what are you going to do with that? So here's motorcycle news.
And it actually looks very credible when we go into it. So it's a long article with nice content inside. So
okay,
looks really well.
Yeah, before we go into detail, we have a function where we can click on where we could see who disavowed this and when, and maybe why with a comment. This is called disavow history, because this is a new profile. We don't see this here, but you know, in large organizations, it makes a lot of sense to keep track of who does what. That's for sure. And so we got 2 questions that I want to answer before we proceed to the next slide, right? You ready for that? So I'm going to paste them here from Greme. What's the difference for Google between having a paid link and having an advert on a legit site? No, an advert is a paid link if it links out without any additional tags. So the simple answer is no follow. Or sponsored.
I still need to get used to this new.
Yeah, you should write no follow sponsored rel equal to the link. And if you do that, Google says, hey, here's an awesome link on an awesome website. It goes to another website, but we know he paid for it. And if you're fine telling Google that you paid for the link, then you can do that. And I don't know, there's the implicit hope that that won't get you into trouble. I'm not sure about that. So yeah, they hope to get some paid link data with this. I would try that too, but the adoption is terrible, like very small. And a paid link on some websites, you know, the one website that we saw, I just looked at, you know, the article there. It was boring. It was cheap. It was 500 words, 2 headings or 3 headings. It had a co-citation link. You know, these are the types of links that we built 15 years ago, and people still offer that as cool stuff. But this is not a link that you want. And people also don't create articles like that on purpose, because if you do, you won't get any feedback. Nobody shares that article. Nobody comments on that. It's just boring stuff. And because of that, the only reason why people do that is paying for it. It's simple like that. And then there's statistics and probability and machine learning and all of these other things. So while Google in the past didn't have all of these extra signals and filters, they built. And so if you engage in link buying, if you pay someone to get a link somewhere, you don't pay for a link on such poor content. You pay someone to actually create amazing content for you with that link. And of course, that's a lot more expensive. And yeah, so the link building, link buying, link paying game has changed a lot. And that's the difference that I would explain here.
I think it's also a matter of the link risk mitigation. So how much are you willing to sacrifice? You know, how much risk are you willing to take?
Yeah, exactly. The risk that we take here is actually an important point. Some people are scared that they don't want to build any links and cause any problems. And this is because Google Penguin initially in 2012 and 13, 14 was really harsh. It gave you an immediate drop in all your rankings. It was great for link research tools because we had an immediate signal of which websites to analyze to learn from. But then they changed this. Now, with the real-time Penguin, your rankings go away really slow. So you might not even notice for a while. And suddenly, some paid links might only drop one keyword or one folder. And some people will say this is terrible, but this is actually how SEO worked before 2012. You do a little thing, then you see it goes backwards, and then you de-optimize. You take those links away, or now it's even cooler. You can disavow and run link detox boost, and then the links don't count anymore, and then you go back up. And then you see That's it. So with the real-time penguin, Google actually enabled something that they had before already, except that it's fancier in finding paid links and spammy links. And this is what link risk management is about. Like in every business, you have to balance your gains and your risks. For those that are not as old and like me, until 2012, you could throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks. It didn't matter. People just built links, and then rankings went up because Google didn't count those that were bad. So, and in a way, that game changed. The balance changed to how rankings are a result of some business undertaking that has a risk and a gain. And if you reduce your risk to 0 and play nice and only follow the Google guidelines, well, no risk, but also no gain. And this is, I think what's important to understand. Wow. I hope that answered your question and a little more. What do you mean by unaudited links? That's a great question. In link research tool Smart, we keep track of which links you audited and which not. Obviously, in a link audit, you want to audit all the links. We have these filters, we got the issues, and we can, give you a button to click here or there, and then go through to 100%. The goal is inbox 0 for your links, so that you decided on all your links, up or down, or disavow, right? Because if you do not decide on your links, what's the point of the audit? And that was a problem for a while, where I said, listen, I want to, have this like email. And if you have 50,000 unread emails, you know how that feels, right? And that's exactly here. You suddenly have 50,000 links that you haven't audited. Actually, more questions coming in. So here's another one. Can you recommend the use of expired Web 2 for link building techniques? Alan, fantastic question. And I had this conversation recently on social media somewhere where someone said, oh, we don't talk about Web 2.0. Who even uses that word? And in general, I would not recommend it. If you are trying to do edgy SEO, and if you have sites to burn, and if you have some automation, if you have got thousands of proxies, if you have people writing a lot of content for you and can spin that, and you are in a vertical like gambling or pharmaceutical or dating or financial or even the doctor that we have here for surgeries, for I think plastic surgery, lawyers, there your competitors are doing that. Most of them. So the objective is not to have a definite answer here. I could say 42 to this. The objective is to understand what are your competitors doing. This is what link research tools was built for, the competitive research, to understand what they're doing and if they succeed with that or not. So the answer is maybe I can recommend this. But
there is also a great tool in LRT suite, the Comparative Detox.
Oh yeah, of course. So. I need to, sorry, thanks for the reminder. Link research tools has a lot of functionality, and one of them is competitive research. And when we look at this new design, Comparative Detox is comparing different websites and looking at the risk of these websites. And if all your websites, all your competitors have 1,200, then your risk could be up there as well. If the top 10 have this risk, if all of these websites have a very low risk, then you better be careful. And then what someone says is, yeah, but the disavow file I don't have from the competitors. Right. But we have disavow information from many years collected that we also use to give recommendations. I can tell you, if you would have your competitor's disavow file, you would be more wrong than if you would trust our recommendations. We find a lot of problems in disavow files, actually. So our system calculates a risk and which links should be disavowed already. And so if these guys are ranking on the top 10, they have cleaned up the most problematic ones for sure. And this is what goes in here into the comparison. So you have a balanced view against your competitors, your website against the competitors. Yeah. And yeah.
And again, there is another question of link risk mitigation, right? Of link risk management. So if you have a website with, let's say, 10 or 50,000 backlinks, it's totally doable to go through all of those. But then if you start auditing websites which have a couple of millions of backlinks, and this is the niche vertical, then it's, well, you just need to start playing smart, you know, and use a lot of functionalities that LRT has to, well, optimize your workflow. Otherwise, you're going to be burned under those links for a couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe something that I didn't mention it. We have a couple of your websites in here. The whole system was made to manage hundreds or thousands of websites, and all of this that we see here is, of course, you could go in and go through these issues and say fix, 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 and click a couple buttons. But the next level is to actually say, you know what, I agree with Christoph that virus links, we don't see virus links here, but virus links should always be disavowed. And links with this risk should always be disavowed. And then you can automate that. And when you say fix, always do this. And then we could generate the disavow file for you on a regular basis automatically. And you just have to upload it and confirm that you do that because Google wants you to do that. And so this is how I envision how you handle, dozens of websites. And even if you have if you use Web 2 websites, you are only using them to maybe power a first tier of links to you. And then you have your money site and a couple tier 1 sites, and you still want to look after your tier 1 sites, right? And yeah, this is how we do this here. Okay, guys, we got more questions coming in. Is it possible to look at all the links, all of the links that are broken? Links that are outdated with old URLs and are no longer contributing to the link profile. Yeah.
I think there is one thing that we need to say here as well. It's not like link is no longer contributing to your link profile. That, well, you can assume it, but you can never say it with 100% certainty because the domain that's linking to you might be bought by somebody else, and the content may be repurposed or republished, whatever. So no way of doing this actually.
Yeah, I think the question is to have a simple way. We have this here in the tabs: active links, broken links, unverified links. And before I just showed the all view where the link crawl state is different. Here we got the link crawl state for unverified, the one for active. And of course, when I click here on active, I see all the active ones. When I click on broken, I see all the broken links. And this is actually nothing else than a filter. So you could even say, listen, I only want the broken links with an anchor that contains something like lawyer here. So we strip this down to 44 results. And I could even say, well, listen, I only want to see those that are actually, maybe, on good websites. So I would say the risk being one of the low ones, low or very low. Okay, so 44 goes down to 4. And now you would say, yeah, but I want some that are contributing or would be contributing if I would fix that link. So the source domain power trust should at least be something like greater than 0. Right? We see here some zeros. We see some zeros. A 0 is never very helpful. There you go. There's one broken link that had the keyword criminal lawyer and is actually removed from where it was in a feed for this Pakla offices. So maybe they deleted the post or they just messed around with that feed itself. Something that I see here is that we just have a connection timeout. So this might be a false positive in addition to. And so our own website timed out. Oh.
This looks a bit sketchy.
No, that's a client website.
Ah, okay. No. Well, I know that the Mustang is the client website. I just thought that there is a redirect because I've seen that.
Okay. You got 3.7 milliseconds, 3.7 seconds, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hops. And here's the final takeaway. Come on, questions are coming in. This is still the first site. But what we see here is that you just killed some link juice anyways. So for some reason or the other, our crawlers timed out on this one. So that's worth checking. And the reason why this timed out is probably all these redirects that are coming from an Nginx that is, hiding what is behind. But this non/slash to slash is a pretty sure sign that they're running WordPress here. There are other tools to find out if it's WordPress. For example, looking at the code for obvious footprints, yes, it's WordPress. But that's also not a problem. I mean, it is a problem, but not a big problem. But this redirect here going from a subpage to the homepage kills all the link power. All of the power goes away with a redirect to the start page. This is the most popular mistake made in any kind of technical SEO, any kind of site migrations, any kind of link building when you have a PBN that you build with expired domains. People often take all the links and redirect it to the homepage. You might get some credit for that, but in May 2013, Google changed this. And so I think we could write this in big fat letters in 70 pixel font that nobody would, I mean, not everyone in the world would know about this. So it's just one little detail of how you could get in trouble. Yeah, but coming back to my filter, I found this filter very helpful. And so in the future, broken lawyer links go like this. I might want to pull them up again here. And then, of course, I forget about all that. I give this a star, and it's here a tab. So when I then go through, I might remove that filter. Again here, reset. When you log into this a week later, you say, yeah, the broken lawyer links, where are they? Here we go. So this tab is one of the filters that we created, and another step is to put this on the dashboard. Guys, would you find this useful to have, filters like this showing up here, depending on what you configure, depending on what you set? Maybe I can see a show of hands or some comments in the questions, because then we need to. Wow, we still have 4 questions here.
They just keep coming,
They just keep coming, yeah. What do you think, Kamil? Should we go over the questions? I mean, after all, it's people's time, right? They have their questions. We were here to answer. And there's a lot to learn from this website as well, right? So this is probably also a website that has been around for a while. And so nothing of this is new or special or surprising. So some of these links here might have been created in 10 years ago. And that's fine. Everyone had them. Some people do this kind of link shaming or, oh, we need to clean up something. This is not you, this is Google. Google changed the rules in hindsight. Like the tax authorities. They charge you for a tax they just invented. And by the way, you pay an extra tax for this and that from 3 years ago. This is exactly what Google did. So all of these links were okay. They made you rank. They made you money. So there's no thing to complain about. And even if this is the most recent core update, they just changed the rule again all the time. This is what SEO is about. And so, yeah, I think let's continue with the questions here. Wait. With the Web 2 link, there's a follow-up question. So you think that if competitors do a lot of spammy PBNs with rich keywords in anchor text, then it's okay to use the same technique? The niche is very tough. Yeah.
I think the answer is directly in the question. Pretty much if you start comparing your competitors in comparative detox, you see what kind of tools, techniques do they use. Well, maybe not tools, but what the output is, what they are doing, and well, what is the niche average, and how much you can allow yourself to do.
So payday is a niche that is not tough. It's impossible to win. I've not seen anyone win payday except this one guy who's been using link research tools for 5 years. And the method he uses is link simulation. Link simulation means I buy links, I analyze those links against my backlink profile, and I only take the good ones. We even have a webinar on just that, and we got this on the website, of course. When you Google Link Simulator, we should come up pretty high up. I know there's Link Simulator, Backlink Simulator. Here we go. So this is a tool that we had for many, many years. And we have, introduced this, I think, in 2014. And I think this diagram here is pretty extensive. You can tell I need to fix something on my website if I need to search for the best page. Yeah. Right. So this is how it would look like in the new interface. And we're actually launching this in a couple of days. And the objective is to simulate how would a link impact my rankings? How would a link work if I would have it? So we calculate a risk for the link, pretending it's already there. And then we put a little sim next to it, a simulator tag. And then we could give you a simulated risk. So in the past, this required multiple steps in our LRT Classic, where you take the backlink list of links you could buy, put it into one tool, take that result, put it into the next tool, and then buy the best ones. And when I say buy the best ones, you buy them by offering them 3 times the money. You offer 3 times more to get that link exclusive. If you decide on an amazing link, you want to make sure your competitors don't get it. The best links are the ones that your competitors cannot get. And so this is the strategy that kept this one guy up in payday loans for 5 years. And everything else I know about payday loans is crash and burn, crash and burn. And you can automate, you can use PBNs, you can use hacked links. Google even released updates. Now they call everything a core update. But back in the days, they called it payday loan update 2. And what they said is, listen, if we remove all the spam, the people doing aggressive SEO for payday loans, there's more spam. So they just wipe out the top 30 results that are typically spam, and then more comes after it. And this strategy to simulate links and only handpick the best, most expensive, most legit ones has succeeded for years now. This is what I would recommend to you, specifically in payday, because apparently spammy PBNs with rich keywords in anchors seem overdone, one. And second, if you do that wrong, one mistake could burn the whole site. So I would never recommend to do a lot of spammy PBNs directly to your own website. Oh, wow.
Maybe we should skip to the next slide, because I think the questions will be pretty much applicable there as well.
The questions come up all the time, yeah. And Zenit already asked to go to the next slide, the graduate tutor. And yeah, let's do that, because I got that open here already. And we already, no, I spent an hour talking. I'm sorry. It's your turn, Kamil. I'm gonna sit back and let you share the screen.
Sure.
Oh, wait.
You just need to stop sharing yourself.
Yeah, here we go. I'm so excited that stop share. Here we go.
All right. I have to say I have too many of those windows opened up in here. I'm just really hoping I'm going to take up the good one. Chrome. Okay, maybe meanwhile we can answer some more questions when I find the proper one.
Oh, I was too quick switching?
Yeah, just a little.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so we got that one done for James, and yeah, we're starting with graduate tutor, right? Next.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it says he didn't realize how long this takes. I remember I told you we're gonna take 10 to 15 minutes per site, and it always takes longer. It always takes longer because it's not done in 50 minutes and it's not done in an hour even. You know, we just scratched the surface. Remember, we just started looking into different types of links, and every link that you disavow doesn't help you anymore. So on many of those, it's actually a tough decision. Yeah, you can always try to automate and weed through the really bad ones fast.
Yeah, I think I'm here.
Yeah, you are.
Great. All right, so again, another hint, well, another part, the domain, which is 4,400 detox risk points, really a lot, I would say. In today, vertical, I think we have one that was having 6,000, was the highest one. But anyway, guys, for the past couple of years that I have been working with LRT, I think I started in 2013. I have to say that LRT makes the most sense in reviewing your backlinks. And I'm sorry, it sounds a little like an advertisement. Really sorry about it. But anyway, the thing is that LRT takes care about a lot of stuff for you. So, you see up pretty upfront all of the virus links, malware, very high risk links with unavailable status. So the links that LRT was unable to crawl, and not because they can't do it. It's rather because the website was unavailable. So server died, or there was a 500 whatever denied status, and also they do a really good job in automating really bad links. So pretty much anytime you go to your detox report, the first red ones you can 99% of the time you can already click fix them and add them to your disavow. You don't really need to go too much into the detail. Now what's
Yeah, then let's do that. Let's fix those virus links. I mean, who wants virus links anyways? This is what I would do right away.
And anyway, it doesn't matter if you are doing a website, if you're reviewing a website that has 100,000 of backlinks or 100 million. I think we did the most together.
Or get response, right?
Yeah, don't mention it again.
Oh, sorry.
No, anyway, it's when it's about the virus malware links or unavailable, you always want to put them into your disavow. Primarily, the virus is pretty self-explanatory, but then unavailable websites, you never know when they become available again, and whether they are going to be more spammy than they used to be, or they are equally not helping you as well. And I mean, if they are not active at this moment, so they are most likely are not helping you with your rankings at this very moment. So why keep them? So then we started to go into the into particular reports. This is what I really like, especially about LRT, the link profile, which gives you a very exact overview of how your links look like. So, I have, you can pretty much see right now. I just decided to see whether the links are follow, no follow. Some of the websites are having 100% of their links follow. Some of them have like 90% of their links follow, and this looks really shady. So you always want to look inside of those links. But this is a great place to start looking whether your links are well, looking natural or not really, whether your link profile looks okay. Second part that I really like about LRT is a report for the source TLDs. Now, you can see all of the TLDs, all of the country TLDs that are having links to your website. So if you just scroll through those, you can already see whether there is something shady going on. I mean, if you have a website that's, for instance, for just one country, be it Germany or Poland or Sweden, whatever, and then you have backlinks coming from China or from some shady website like this, XN, well, TLD, which I think actually is something like Taiwanese or something like that, a new kind of addition. But anyway, it's honestly, it's never good to see Chinese or Korean websites in your backlink profile.
I've yet to find one example, like Alibaba linking to me from the homepage, or no.
Yeah, well,
but that's Alibaba.com, I think.
Yeah, I think with Alibaba, it might be a bit different, but that actually most of the time when I'm coming through various profiles, I'm finding, for instance, Korean websites with Korean content, and the content is either porn, either gambling.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, there is a very good case, which I think I heard from you, Christopher, a couple of years ago, that if you get too many links from porn sites, then your website might be flagged as adult content. Mm-hmm. So then it will be filtered out by the Google filter. I simply forgot the name for it right now.
Yeah, no, it's the safe search filter, you mean, and
exactly.
How this works is the correlation. You earn trust from your neighborhood, and the neighborhood is not the websites that are on the same web host. Some people oversimplify this, but what we talk about here is co-citation, where you get your links from. So if the most popular porn websites are always linked together with you, like you have many links on websites that link to all these porn websites, then of course Google might think, this guy is really close to all these porn websites because he's always being linked with them together. So this is called co-citation, and the bad way is bad neighborhood, getting you into trouble. And of course, a couple of those links will not cause problems, but you don't want to pile this up. You never want to pile these problems up. A couple of those will never cause a problem. Yeah.
And I actually remember I was sitting with my colleague back at GetResponse office, and we were running through all of our hundreds, millions backlinks.
Now you said it.
Yeah, well, I just mentioned it like, please, there was too much work.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
And well, we opened a couple of links on the screen to see what those exactly look like, and there was a group of new employees going by, and all of the websites that we opened was pure porn,
Mm-hmm.
was yeah.
What are these guys doing all day long, right?
Exactly, but anyway, let's dive a little lower into the particular links. So there is a lot of links in here coming from this kind of directories, like this Android, well, whatever it is here. Mm-hmm. Well, this one was pretty fun. Now, let me see it. Actually, I can go even into those websites because, well, I have a clean computer. I'm not really scared of any viruses. But what you see in here is definitely that, well, we are landing on a website called Freenom link. And now here we started from zero code, which was actually reported as a place where you were having a link. So I mean that there is a couple of things that are really broken with this particular setup. So the first one is that we never know whether the content that was originally here, that was linking to you, was credible content. Well, looking at the name of a domain, I don't really think so, but maybe I'm mistaken. But then the other point is somebody pretty much took this URL and redirected it, and now you never know whether this redirect is working for you in a good way or in a bad way, or how it's even actually going to change in 1 hour or in tomorrow. So that's one of these cases of the websites that I would really disavow. I don't know what's your take on this, Christoph?
Yeah, it's just on the scraper side, and you saw from the red cross that this is also a removed link already.
Yeah.
So I would certainly disavow them. And what you're just doing is you're selecting a couple of those to bulk disavow them, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
and
actually,
this
it
is
starts to pop up in here.
yeah, exactly. So if you select a couple of those, then you can disavow them all in one. So this is another way how people go. They go through this list and say, oh my God, all this not, and then pick the links, and then they can tag it, they can disavow them, and
And actually, I think it's worth of calling out that the filters that you have at the homepage, well, at the here, they are really helpful in terms of getting rid in bulk of your bad links. But then there is a lot of fine tuning that you need to go into, and pick up your sleeves and start digging.
Exactly. Yeah. Wait, you got multiple windows open for the same site, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay? I would be careful with that, because didn't we just see some old status from some links that we already disavowed?
Maybe.
I would do something like close all tabs except this one. We are still in the one that we are, but let's not confuse ourselves. Can we close the other ones?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because the way this works is that we should, just navigate around in the same application by just clicking on the data, and then when you reload.
Yeah, actually, I did only changes on the first page, so.
Okay.
Still not problematic here, but then well, there is another example of what might be wrong in here. So I will show you the redirect path. So you see this website block my info. I'm not going to open up because I actually know what's behind it, and Christoph forbid me to open it.
Another porn site.
Yeah, there is actually a porn site in here, and it's really nasty. So I wouldn't really open it. But then it's this is the reason why you want to go through all of your backlinks manually, because this actually doesn't tell you whether it's a porn site. It's the URL doesn't even imply it. At this statement of cash flow indirectly method, it's completely unrelated. And then when you land on it, is yeah, it's really nasty.
Yeah, and it went to some of the accounting tutors how to. Actually, it looks like a link going right inside into the content.
Yeah. Well, as said, I'm not going to open it because I've
No,
seen those
don't worry.
pictures already.
No, let's focus on finding some juicy problems like this, and then just get rid of them. I often hear this, oh my God, so many links to go through, and shall we disavow them all at once? And can we wait? And maybe we only do a little bit, but you can ask experts like Rick Lomos, who's going to be here in 2 weeks as well. You cannot go back and forth with this, for many months and do a little bit here and a little bit there. The way this works is that you do a harsh cleanup, and then you can still undisavow if you have a manual action. And keep in mind the way that there is, it's a huge, let's call it fake news. There's people thinking that you can only disavow once and will never get back the link. So like an all or nothing approach. And I'm not sure where that came from, although I'm following all the news all the time. But of course, that's not right. You just have to remove them from the disavow file, and yeah, make sure the link gets crawled again. So using link detox boost, and because of that, you can fine tune, as you said, in a second step, and only make sure that you just have some progress and don't paralyze yourself with thinking about this one link for a long time.
Yeah. Well, let's see. If you actually start looking into those links, you start to see some patterns in here. That, for instance, well, most of those directories, even though they are on separate domains, they are, well, starting with more or less the same idea of having a number in front. Well, let's see what it is. Yeah, this one is actually not found. Great. But yeah, definitely that's another example that well, I would consider in putting into disavow, because you never know when it actually becomes alive and what it might do to you. Well, when it becomes alive again.
Yeah, exactly. 9 gore graded 2.
Yeah,
there's a lot of broken and unverified links in here. When you click
maybe
the tab
I should
for
just
active,
maybe I should just go.
I mean,
this
we
one.
can disavow the broken and unverified ones as well, but what I see is a lot of money keyword links, like MBA tutor, graded tutor. This looks like, well, a tutor. Maybe there's also a writing service combined with it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there is. We can actually go into the anchor text. So, well, a lot of those. Well, there is definitely a lot of problem with this one.
43% of the links have this URL in there. So
if that doesn't look like a pattern, I don't know what does.
Yeah, luckily we disavowed a lot of them already. So when we remove,
let's see
what is not disavowed already. So you say disavow is not
empty.
It's empty. Yeah. 42.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a lot anymore, but
legal sites have bond coupons.
Have
examples of bond coupons.
Yeah, let's see a couple of those. Oh, there was definitely a redirect. And yeah, this doesn't look helpful.
It looks, to me, it looks like a scraper site that is slapping coupons on top of it or something like that. Or are these real coupons?
Yeah, it looks like a scraper trying to rank for coupons and discounts for particular keywords.
Remind me again, how does all this legal stuff and coupons go together with what is the site about?
With tutors.
Tutors, right? So I don't know.
Maybe they're trying to. Well, I don't know.
Coupon buy sell, coupons maker, bond. Yeah, we see the source page power trust is 0 on so many, or maybe 1 power.
I would say from my perspective, all of them would be good candidates to disavow.
Yeah, we have a nice filter already, and when you go here, you can select the 25 or on top the filtered 42.
What do you mean? Here.
The bulk actions for all?
Yeah.
Oh no, you just unselected everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and do all of them.
At the domain level, or let's see.
You think any of these root domains have a legit subdomain? I don't know.
Yeah,
Easy
I think
coupons.
root domain.
Yeah, I would go root domain. I mean, it's more harsh, and you can always change this later. But to me, it didn't look like
none of them was credible enough. Yeah, definitely. All right. What more we have here? Yeah, well, I was prepared. I had a couple of windows open. Now I would need to select again all of those.
Ah,
But,
okay.
Yeah, actually, that was the reason why I had a couple of tabs opened.
Oh, you should have told me. I'm sorry.
No,
No,
it's
I
okay.
killed your game.
I wouldn't worry. Yeah, but okay, let's see some more maybe. That disavow empty. And well, I told you already, one of my favorite game is to look for source target that contains well, dir, which is for directory and all other kinds. So let's see. Oh, a lot of wiki. Let's
And
see
a
this
lot of
one.
money keywords.
Yeah. Huh. Nice. What's this?
Smallbusiness.com.
Well, I understand how wiki works, but this is kind of on the verge of wiki and
a link directory.
Yeah.
Can you post a link there to my business? Is this a free for all link thing? Interesting. Wiki
Yeah.
content.
I don't see it. Well, I definitely you can register to edit, and then I guess you would be able to add a link.
Oh, then you get a subscription to pay for, and then you can add your links. That's how I would do it.
Yeah. So, well, I would definitely disavow this one. What else do we have? Oh, another Vic. No, that was this one. What else we have here? Yeah, this is definitely worth disavowing. You know, it's a website for well, pretty much stats. A lot of those running on in the internet. Trying well when you want to get some basic stats for your domain. They are also creating links to your website. I think back in the day they were used for indexation purpose. Like you were running 100 of them and saying that your fresh blog post is up and you want to see its stats. But
oh yeah, who came up with the content freshness thing? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Let's post 10 fresh blogs with the same old crap again today, so we rank as well today. I don't know.
I mean that this definitely is another example of what you would like to disavow.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm just giggling at these old SEO myths. You know, the best post you can make is one on your website, and if this one page gets 1 million links in the next 10 years, you win. You don't need 1 million blog posts with one link each, right? And also, you won't get those links. And by the way, we got some questions here that I want to answer really quick also to Jamie. Sure. We would love to do additional websites, of course, but we also need to prepare them. You know, we had this form where we, ask for submissions, where we ask you for permission to show this here and for the disavow file and your keywords. And then we need to prepare it. You know, it costs a lot of money and time and resources to crawl these. So these are crawled. The link crawl budget comes from us, donated by us, and then the setup, the keyword classification, in addition to what we're doing just now, needs preparation time from my company. And so that's a process that we need to go through. So if you want to see your website the next time in 2 weeks, then just submit it to the form and we'll make sure to prepare it. Maybe we can show it next time. But like I said in the beginning, we got a backlog of 25 other websites already that we, need to prepare. And but thanks for your interest. I appreciate.
I would just mention one thing, and we can jump to another website. I think there is a difference, and it's worth noticing it that when you disavow, you can either disavow at a root domain level or a domain level. Now, the difference is that when you do a domain level, on the example of this Wiki Small Business, you would disavow wikismallbusiness.com and any link from this, containing this string. Now, if you do a root domain, you will just you will disavow everything from smallbusiness.com, regardless of whatever the subdomain or subdomain is. So I think the small business domain might still be credible somehow. So for this sake, I would just rather say that I want to disavow this at the domain level. I just don't really think that the wiki is a good in this particular example. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the website smallbusiness.com. I'm just thinking, you know, for a guy who wakes up every morning for 17 years and thinks about links and websites and links between websites, I get to see new websites every day. It's unbelievable. Smallbusiness.com is credible, yes, and I agree. You know that this you know is something where your knowledge comes in, and we got some metrics here on the main domain and the subdomain, and what Kamil just does is he looks at this through the eyes of a Google engineer. You know, does this look like a paid link? Could we get away with it or not? And so one practice that of course we cannot do right now is to tag links. There's a whole catalog of different tags that people use. You know, our link research tool certified professionals, they use different tags to mark their links. So when they disavow for the one reason, they might give it one tag. When they disavow for the other reason, they might give it another tag. So you can always go back and say, which type of links did we actually disavow because we thought it's a paid link? Let's keep them in there, or let's, you know, take them out, you know, and review them again, and then you can filter again by these tags. So that's how things work, you know, on a more detailed, thorough review. Yeah, but thanks for confirming that, Senate. And we still have some questions coming up here. Shall we go over them before we go to the next slide? Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna share mine again.
Okay.
So I'm gonna copy paste those questions here. And yeah, welcome to Daniel and all the others that joined us in the meanwhile, of course. I hope we have your website still up. My team might look into that. But let's continue with the questions here. Could you further clarify how the dynamic of disavowing low quality links and results would look like? What would you look after updating your disavow document? Do you have a set amount of time you wait till it's required to go back and make adjustments? Personally, I always found it very hard to see the correlation with changes in the disavow tool was actual differences in ranking.
Oh, this is something I can definitely answer to.
Yeah, okay, there you go. I could talk for an hour on this one, and we had it on LRTCon, remember? I think Michael Rothman spoke about that, how he did this correlation and how he did this step of disavows and this step of disavows, and then saw it. Yeah, but you go.
Yeah, so I was well, I can tell you on an experience of a couple multi-million backlink websites. Usually, the way it works is that the disavow is taking a lot of time to work, and this is actually where the LRT boost is coming in handy. So it speeds the things up. So thing is that although Penguin is called a real-time algorithm, it's really not. It's a mistake in perception. Real-time means actually that when Google comes to crawl this particular URL, and this is real-time, it doesn't mean that when you upload your disavow file to the disavow tool, it's just automatically happening right now. So there is the reason for LRT boost. So it actually speeds the process up. So LRT is kind of taking your disavow file and the links you have and pinging Google like, hey, you should be looking in here. So it takes less time to crawl those, and you see your results faster. As such, you wouldn't really see a correlation directly between uploading your disavow file or and your rankings when we are talking about Penguin. When we are talking about manual penalty, that's a whole different story. You might be seeing the correlation, well, day by day, week by week, depending on how do you track it. I would say it's yeah, for a couple of domains that I was working on, we have uploaded, I think, 6 version of disavows, and every time we are uploading a new one, it was like within 3 to 6 months that we were seeing an increase of our website's visibility. But it always took some time to see the improvement. It's nothing that you can say, oh, okay, so we just uploaded disavow and now our rankings are better. You actually, when you are working full time as an SEO, you upload your disavow file, and then for the next 3-6 months you're doing something else, and you never have a 100% certain way of saying that okay, so our result is actually an effect of whatever we did, because you're all the time working on a changing environment.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe to add to this is a common hope, I would say, that uploading this text file changes the world, but it just puts the file on one server. And right now, Gary Elias and all his friends at Google are very busy propagating the LinkedIn crash, the fix of the crash, back to a whole a universe of servers. There are, I don't know how many hundred thousands of Google servers. They all need to get this information. So this is what happens. Then it takes 48 hours or so for the disavow file to get to all these crawlers, hundred thousands of servers crawling. And then these crawlers need to crawl these links. And just because someone can upload a text file doesn't mean he can impact the way these crawlers work. It doesn't happen. So what we then do in Link Detox Boost is to force Google to crawl those. And that's actually getting harder and more expensive every year. And we keep track of which of those links were crawled. So this is the best that we can do. We know when a Google bot saw that link. And then we tell you these and these and these and these domains were already crawled. These and these pages of in your disavow were already crawled after you boosted. For one time, you end up with 100% completion. Most of the time, not always. Some links, I don't know, are impossible to get crawled, but we track that. And then you know, at least from the best point of view, that these were actually crawled, and Google processes the disavow. And then you still sit there and say, oh, wait, but in the meanwhile, this and this happened. In the meanwhile, we did this and this. And so only in very isolated tests that we had a presentation about at the last LRT-Con, our Link conference for charity, in Vienna, January 2019. We had this guy present a very isolated example where he did nothing. He just took this client and did nothing. And he disavowed deleted links. And then he disavowed unverified links. And then he disavowed. And even by disavowing links that were not there, like they were in the system, he could see that the rankings went up. He made an experiment in the lab to prove what is common sense anyways. You want to clean up your house. But I agree with you, Kamil, especially on such a large website that is a money website, that is a huge business website. You cannot look for that. And with all the different variables changing all the time, it's next to impossible. And Google
I was
does,
actually
yeah.
having one example of a customer I was running for a couple of years ago, and was actually it wasn't funny at all, but that was very interesting to see, that they have gotten themselves into a manual penalty that they were trying to get out of for more than one a year, maybe 1.5, something like that. And when they got the penalty, they were the only one on the market, the only one supplier of whatever they were supplying. And within this 1.5 year that they were out, another 5 popped out, and they actually started to rank very high with very good backlinks. And right now, it's not impossible, but it's very hard to catch up with them, because you pretty much spend your last 1.5 years trying to fix up your backlinks.
Yeah.
So
yeah. This is why I always recommend this ongoing link audit. If you only do this once a year, or even only every couple of years, you have so much work to keep up with. It's like doing your accounting only every 5 years. No company in their right mind only does their accounting every year. Like, you always have ongoing accounting. And this is very similar here. Yeah, and Graham actually asked the question, uploaded the disavow file to Google previously. Can LRT check my previous disavow file to suggest whether links are high, unavailable, and maybe good? And the answer is yes. Graeme, this is exactly what we did here. We started a full crawl, a complete audit, and we uploaded the disavow file with it. So what we see are some links that are disavowed already from that disavow file. And that also starts the disavow history in LRT. And from there on, you go disavow, undisavow, etc., and get suggestions based on that disavow. So that one issue that said you have disavowed a link that is actually looking good now, please take a look again. This happened based on a disavow that we got from the client previously. And so, yeah, that's we also call this disavow file audit, and we can show you even the risk before and after. You know, like in this diet advertisements, before and after this Wonder Diet, we can show you the risk before and after the disavowing. And of course, all of this goes into the calculations then. So that's a typical use case for all agencies that take on a new client. You start with the existing disavow and see what's there, because that's the current status, right? And yeah, so there are some clients where I know that they find out that their client actually doesn't have access to the Google Search Console. So this is where, you know, things start. You need to know which disavow file is active. Then you can connect it to link research tools. So we download those links that only Search Console sees, and then we combine them all together for the analysis. Okay, so that was an important question. Yeah, you know, it's so obvious to me because we've been doing this for so many years, and it's such an important thing to do. If you take on a client, you first want to do your due diligence, right? What's going on before you start something new. And so this is what LRT does. And yeah, here's a question quick about the session being recorded. Do we plan to share this recording soon? The answer is no, because we need to process it. It's 1.5 hours already. We may share it in the future. We may share parts of it. So yeah, I don't know. And this question is here for an hour already. We need to go over this. Could you further clarify how the dynamic of... Wait.
I think we answered this.
We just answered this. Thanks.
Yeah,
I need
but
to
we
get
still
this.
have one from Timo hanging up in for 1 hour as well.
Exactly, Timo. Sorry for letting you wait so long. About multilingual website. What causes that site that ranks well in various languages but does not rank at all in English? Is it a filter that blocks it out from Google results, or the company address, outside aOS, or the link profile?
I think there is a multiple answers in here. Mm-hmm. So the first one is the English market. I think is the hardest market out that there is, because there is so many people trying to rank in there, and so many work, so many budgets, so many man hours spent in everything, in copywriting, in outreach, in link building, in link cleaning, in
everything.
in everything, exactly. So that's the first problem that there is. But well, I would say that the company address, whether your website is outside of US, it doesn't actually have any influence. If you have your if you have your services available worldwide, and you pretty much say it out loud, then there is no reason that your website shouldn't be in US rankings, for instance. There's actually something that might help, because if you are located in one country and want to target another one, even if you have used a subdirectory, not another domain, you still can go to the old version of Search Console and you can switch the geo-targeting. So you can say that this particular URL prefix website should be directed to the traffic in US or any other country that you might be targeting.
Here's another question that I have regarding the cross-linking. Do you actually have your href link fixed? Like here, it's not fixed. Not good, because we're just migrating this from one website to the other one, right? But it should be on every page. You should have a cross-linking via href link. for the German variant to the English variant or whatever language you support. So all the links going to the German post, for example, should then also help the English post, because an href link is just another link. And so, yeah, this is actually part of internal link analysis as well, which we don't even cover right now. And other problems, I think you have mentioned it already, but I want to emphasize that again. Where are your links coming from? If you don't have any links from English markets that are related to English business from English websites,
then why you should be ranking in England or US?
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think I saw Timo somewhere in the preparation. So did you send us a site to prepare that we could maybe look at today or the next time?
I remember that there was a website. I think it was the one that we didn't really have a clarity on whether we can actually use it.
Yeah. There was this one guy who suggested it and then later pulled back. So maybe that's your website. I'm sorry. If you want your website audited, then for sure suggest it via the form, and you say yes, 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 of course, to allow us to show it, because what's the point of saying I want this done and not allowing us to show it? And then we can show it in 2 weeks with Rick Lomas here in the show. And yeah, I want to proceed with the next one on the level, because yeah, the answer to this question, Timo, we could spend endless time. And so here's Dr. Miguel Delgado. Wait, where's Mr. Migado? Yeah. How do you pronounce this website, Kamil?
I would like to tell you, but I think it's gynecomastia.
Gynecomastia,
Gynecomastia, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I always have a hard time pronouncing some of these names, and if it's some medical condition, or this is actually about dudes that have breasts or something like that,
Yeah.
some plastic surgery, then yeah.
This actually looks pretty shady, right? This subdomain.
If you ask me, by now every website looks shady. It even looks shady if they don't have any links, which is, we combine 25 data sources and more if you connect them and put all of this together, and then if we don't find a link at all, no, it doesn't happen. So when we look at this website, we can already start with this fantastic, the globe spam. We saw a scraper footprint already in the keywords, where this number and the domain name, all of these, this is the scraper that I talked about before.
Guys that take your website and post a backlink on a very shady domain and multiplicate it to 1,000 other domains and then
millions of domains.
Out of it.
Yeah, impossible to keep track. They are so aggressive and so everywhere that we have a special rule for them. And I would say Google probably as well. And the answer is not, will Google do this anyways? But can you trust Google to do this anyways for you? Always, all the time. I don't trust Google, so I want to fix that myself.
Actually, I think there is a valid point to make in here. That there was, I think it was John Mueller once saying that you don't really need to take care about your links because they pretty much take care for all of your backlinks for you. So if you done nothing shady, they are aware of the shady tactics and that they take care of it. But then actually, I think 6 months later, he said something contradictory, saying like, well, you have bad backlinks. It's your responsibility to remove them.
It was actually Gary Ilias at the launch of Penguin 4.0, and he said, on my personal blog, I don't have a disavow file. And so people said, hey, he doesn't have a disavow file, so I don't need a disavow file either. The difference is, if a Google employee on his personal blog doesn't have a disavow file, it makes sense because I don't even know his domain. So he may not have a lot of links and certainly no spammy links. While here, when we talk from SEO to SEO, our job is to optimize the backlink profile, to build links, to buy links, to do all kinds of things for 10 years or longer. And that includes some risk, and that's actually a lead way to do. And of course you can say, yeah, I'm going to lean back and Google is going to feed me and do everything good for me. But I've been around for long enough to say it doesn't work that way. Google's job is not to feed you, and they have their own flaws and problems.
I think they might be having some initial ideas on, for instance, the globe and some of the domains they might be disregarding in their internal calculations. But still, there is so many new domains of globe coming up every week that well, you should probably keep track of it anyway.
Yeah, they can fix some of them, but will they do them all? And this is the point. Even what's the point of fixing the backlink profile for you? And and here's Rick saying, "Don't believe a word John Miller says." I met him and said, "Hi, John. I'm Rick." He took a look at my name badge and ran away. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, well, that's the thing. And so let's go back to gynecomastia. Gynecomastia. I look at these backlinks and these anchor texts. We see this is a keyword domain with an exact match keyword. So we can say, yeah, you got a brand for this keyword. And in the past, people also said, because I have this domain, this is also my money keyword, is my brand, but it's not. Male gynecomastia is a money keyword, and that's how we need to classify it.
I think there is actually a very noob way of determining whether you actually have reached a level of being, of owning a keyword name. So if you pretty much Google for your money keyword, for the exact match keyword that you have in your domain in Google, and if your domain is showing up first, then most probably you are both brand and money keyword at the same time.
Yeah, right. But here,
it's not.
It's not. I'm not sure it will be, because this is a medical condition, it's a medical topic, and you don't want anyone to just be able to rank for topics like that, especially with the medic update and every update, especially also, regarding COVID. And Google has a vital interest to not spew wrong information. Even with when you Googled coronavirus a month ago or so. Yeah. See this? The reason why this is better than it was in the beginning is one of my tweets as well. I complained about them. They were surfacing, I think, the symptoms. Yeah. So they called a runny nose as common symptom, which it's not. And false information in the health space can lead to people getting sick, to people getting, into all kinds of problems, and maybe even dying. And if Google spews out wrong information on health topics, it's a major reputation damage for them. It's not something that Google sees lightly. So this brings all kinds of websites in the medical space into a special focus for years already. They cracked down on pharma websites 10 years ago already, with Legit Scripts and others, to get rid of all these online pharmacies really quick and really, harsh. But going back to these links, we see a link saying drugs with side effects. That's a money keyword link. Yeah, but it's going to some articles about dysmorphic. Yeah. Okay. But this is some directory from a long time ago. It looks broken. It has a negative link velocity trend. Stat counter. Yes, maybe, when you open this up, there is some CSS that, no, not even a CSS. So what I'm telling you is, no, this is an expired domain. And it didn't earn any new links for a while. It still loads fast. And it was probably recovered from the web archive with these links on. And the worst of all is you redirect it to some kind of to the same page on secure, but there it 404s. Yeah, so this root domain disavow is actually, okay. I would still wonder, Miguel, why do you do these redirects? I mean, at some point you redirect it from an S HTML, secure HTML. Oh, that's it. Oh yeah. The non-HTTPS redirects to the HTTPS, and there it's a 404. And even if you would have kept this link, this link active, it would be gone by now. And imagine yourself clicking on that link, you see no results. So this is not good for your website either way. If visitors click somewhere.
There is actually a lot of this mistake going on, and with actually really valuable links in there as well.
Really? Yeah.
So yeah. Well, I don't know if on this side, but I've seen a number times that, for instance, there were links to pricing pages, and well, you were losing your link to pricing page because it was a 404.
Okay. So let's see if we find more like that. The target, yeah, the HTTP code. "90 pages got links. And of course, here you can look at those pages with some of those links being broken. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. So this one we disavowed. This one I would also disavow and give it a thumbs down. All the spam here. What about this one? Yeah. But these are pages that you don't have anymore. And you got links to them. And you could now go and say, listen, I'm going to redirect them. I want to redirect this page for Miguel's profile to where it actually belongs. So let that sink in. Links to Miguel's profile about him end up nowhere. His actual profile is, can I click here? Here. So Miguel, some links to your profile are gone. And these could be good links or bad links. And of course, we want to get rid of the bad links, but all the work that you did in the past was wiped away at some point with a site migration, not done right. I'm sorry to say, this is misconduct. You cannot leave links unredirected. And we just created a redirect here, and then you can download this as HD access file. But this is part of the SEO work. The daily SEO work is to make sure that you don't have any broken links in terms of broken links within the website. And of course, links from outside. And in link research tools, we got this functionality, but this was one of the first tools we had to begin with, called link juice recovery. And those users that have been with us for the last 10 years or so only know this as LJR, or link juice recovery, or fix broken links after migration. And it's always the same pattern. We look at a domain to analyze. We find those pages that have an error, like I just did, and then we tell you which of those have a problem. And then you can generate, well, the fixes for that. And by this, we discover a lot of pages that you didn't even know you had in the past, maybe. So maybe you bought this domain from someone else. This example, Miguel, goes to a link that you own about yourself, right? But it could be an article that someone else wrote when he owned this domain 10 years ago. And ta-da, here's the real reason why we built it, to recover expired domains. When you buy an expired domain, you buy it for the ton of links. And the next question, if you want to do this right, is, oh my God, which links do I have to redirect? Of course, we can play dump and redirect everything to the homepage, then we lose 80% of the value, or 90 or 99. Or we can recover it and build out pages where all these good links go to. And this is what link choose recovery was built for, and still works like this. So when we look at this, I have sorted here by target page power trust. And from all these pages that are showing a 404, your profile, Miguel, was the most important one. It had a power trust of 4. 2-second response time. Okay, we could work on that. But the next one is here. It's a page about the treatment. At least redirected to one of your most recent articles on man boobs. But I'm sure you have, when I look at the site, when I look at this website, I'm seeing I see 6,830 articles being indexed. Come on. I tell you, you might be the genius in this topic and the most authoritative website. But some of the links that you have don't go to places where they belong. So treatment gallery, this sounds like it was a photo gallery or something. And I think, wasn't there a photo gallery? You still have photo galleries, right? Before and after images.
Yeah,
right?
there is a lot of those.
So we're talking plastic surgery. Why don't you have this link go here? This is how you sell, right? Oh yeah, I look like that. I want to look like that. And so there goes your sale. It's not even about SEO. Imagine someone clicking that link and not finding you. Oh, this guy is probably not legit. Not even his website works. And so the same is true here for the treatments. So these are fixes that can be done, sorry, in a couple of hours, and are the reason why this doesn't rank. All of these people go to your website, get an error page, and it's not even a very cute error page. You can show some kittens there, or some people have contests for the cutest error page, but your clients should never see error pages. It's like if you would slam the door in front of them and say, no business here, we're closed. And so this is to fix. And yeah, when we then look at the risk, there are some risky links here. Just look at everything related to the main money keyword. Yeah. 8,000 links. So these are problematic for a variety of reasons. And these links are gone. SMF Asia 23. What's that anyways? Oh, you got a forum on that. What do you think, Kamil? You think that forum has some users it shouldn't have?
Yeah, I'm very convinced that there is some, well, at least whatever we were addressing already, saying the web profiles 2.0.
Exactly. So here's a web 2.0 platform that some spamming tools maybe already attacked, and maybe Miguel already turned this off in the past.
But that's actually how how other medical websites are getting their backlinks. Looking up for other websites that have well, right now it's discussion boards, but used to be, for instance, guest books, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I haven't seen some immediate spam in the forum profiles, but what I would do is, now that I know this is a forum, I just clicked on this. You see, that's why I said you can stay in the same app and have all the filtering going on, because now I see all the links going to this forum, the SMF, whatever that stands for, and these are all the links going to this forum. And now when I look at the anchor texts, honey contains high amounts of boron, puffin nipples and milk. These links don't look bad.
I think the one stands out, the Bangalore one.
Yeah, what's with Bangalore? I don't get it. I don't get it. I had the impression Miguel is somewhere in the US and
in the US, yeah.
California. Here we go. So what's with the Bangalore? Oh, look at that. It's the same SMF Asia 23. So there's one user profile, or used to be one user profile. Huh? What? Wait. Let's use the back button. We can always go back. What did I just do with all these filters? I was about to say that we probably have this guy here, the Gynecomastia Bangalore, spam all sorts of links to his profile. And, oh, reputation of Bangalore doctors, redirecting. I get it. It goes to some of these other variations of the redirect trace. And wow. Looking at the risk profile.
Well, I remember when looking at this particular domain, there was a lot of parked domains that were linking back to Miguel's website.
So I don't know. We got some stuff disavowed here already. I see some anchor texts. This looks unnatural to me, and you probably don't want to rank for something related to Bangalore. So this could even, like we had this question before regarding the links about different countries, different language websites. And maybe Google gets the idea that even if these links count, that this website should rank really well in India, in Bangalore.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so if you look at international rank trackers and you do some rank tracking on that level, maybe we see that he has really great rankings in Bangalore and not in California where they should be. And so this is something that I would be very, very cautious about.
But actually, what might be happening, I think, is it might be the case that this user that was there, they were having a link to their website in Bangalore, and then they were trying to, get as many links for Gynecomastia Bangalore to this website, so it generates related juice to.
Yeah, a link pyramid. They used Miguel's website as a link filter or a as a link pyramid scheme. So yeah, I would say all of these we tag a number one with I'm making up a rank. Do we want to rank for Bangalore in Bangalore? Please don't use tags like that. It will kill the user interface. Nobody uses tags that long. But we're gonna add that tag. And I'm gonna disavow them all on the root domain. I mean, yeah. And what happens next is that we, of course, have more work to do. And this is not an easy job. It's not done in an hour. This was, again, looking into details. We saw redirects being broken. I mean, broken or going to pages where they shouldn't be. And we still have 10,000 links not audited. We maybe have some good links that we disavowed that should be undisavowed. So let's look at those 2 links right now. That sounds easy. Oh my God. Wait. Oh, actually more. But this is working in the background as we speak. So some of these links, yeah, I see some globe stuff with, oh yeah, this is the main domain. The globe.net has its name from its main domain, and millions of other domains link back to the globe.net. And congratulations, you got a link on the spammiest domain of the world, which has some power and trust, but I wouldn't trust it.
I wouldn't trust it.
No, not at all. And then some blogspot links from 2003. Well, you decide. You see, you go to error pages all the time. Not sure. I've yet to see, maybe then when you do a detailed review, to take this one out, more muscle, more sex. The bullseye, is this a bull? A bodybuilding forum might be where you say, yeah, listen, I've been on that forum for ages, and because of that, I'm known there, and I'm linking to my own website. Because of that, we keep it in there. But this is 2008, so I would still say be cautious. So this is the link. Looks old, but yeah, it is old.
Yeah, and this is actually the case where I would be wondering whether to disallow it or not, because well, it might be having some power behind it, but
Yeah.
then again, it's a question of how much do you want to risk, how much do you want to stay on the safe side.
No, at this point, I would Slack the client and say, listen, what is bullseye? Have you been around there? Because we got a couple links from there. No, sorry, that was me thinking we had a couple links. I think I saw this multiple times. I'm sorry. I know there is.
There is a couple.
Wow. With this filter, we successfully. Oh yeah, and one is active. That's the one that's active, but we disavowed the whole root domain. So you can then open up the filter more. Yeah, and you see those that are active, that are working. Let's look at the original detox risk that we had before. And now when we look at that, I want this here. Yeah. So Kamil, we're right at the edge. It's 1,000.
Yeah.
This one would contribute to increasing the average, but if the average of everything weighted would be 1,000, I would say in this industry it's still okay. And
I mean, this domain in general has 1,300, which is still more or less okay. So, well, whatever we do, definitely we are staying on the safe side, but still, I think we are within the industry average.
Yeah. So let's undisavow this one. Let's say bullseye is legit, and we keep this. Yeah, and these are the tough decisions. Every system, every SEO expert can spot these super spammy links. And of course, if you have a link from, CNN or BBC, this is an awesome link, right? My mom would figure that out. You don't need SEO experience.
Oh, that's not always true.
Exactly. Well, the closer you get, the harder these decisions get. Was this a spammy link? Was this a paid link? Is this a link that could get us into trouble? This is always thinking and gut feeling, and no system in the world. We decided in the middle with 1,000 will be perfect. Not Google's and not ours, obviously. Yeah. And so you get away with links like that. People have links, build links, and rank with links like that. I found the site issues a lot more problematic. And we also have, for example, before fixing the websites, we have links going to some of those pages that we should not have. So this filter here just shows us links going to broken pages. So if you now start with the old LRT Classic to find all these pages to redirect them somewhere, you might redirect the penalty on. So before we fix our website, we disavow this on a domain level.
I would say there is definitely something looking like there was a site migration with this old SHTML files that, well, it's not particularly this one, but we actually have seen a couple of those today with SHTML that they were having links pointing to them, and all the SHTML were 404. So it looks like there was some migration going on, and most probably somebody forgot to redirect.
Mm-hmm. You know what this domain is? utoronto.ca?
No, I don't think I've been there.
It's one of the strongest domains in Canada. I used to broker links on universities many years ago. And so this immediately sprang to my eye. And I can say that these individual uToronto sites, of course, are, well, links on pages written by some, wow, what is this even? Documentary? It looks like an email, right? Someone posted an email like a news site, a news group.
Huh.
Wow. Right. Get rid of the bulk. Show me the preview. So there is the link. Impossible to see. 2005. Mm-hmm. Well, now, I have to say the trust of the domain is amazing. This is one of those domains that has a higher trust than power. The risk here is edgy. The link velocity trend goes down. That page doesn't have any backlinks. I don't know why after all these years. Maybe it's because the content is really poor and you could certainly have better university links. But when I pull out all these other domain and page metrics that I have here, I could spend an hour telling you why this is probably an amazing link still to keep. Yeah. Right here, it's an above average detox risk for this link. I would say we keep this one. And I even say, because that's my account, that's my decision, it's my opinion, I say this is a good one. It's not always like that. Yeah. So, and yeah, Rick confirms that Bullseye ranks for adult social network and Jacksonville strip clubs, which is vaguely relevant but dodgy. So, yeah, you have to get your links somewhere. Not every high flyer polished website would link to medical doctor sites. So in bulk. So this is a competitive industry as well. And with this, I think we're not through with all the 5 websites. How many did we have? 3?
3 so far, yeah.
Oh my God. And we're over 2 hours. It's 2 hour 15. We got football wood and the pest control guy here. I'm gonna spend 5 minutes on each of those 2. Just because we promised to do 5 websites.
5 of them,
right?
Yeah.
And then maybe we can cover more on another occasion. Yeah, okay. Red and mice control in Greater Manchester. Why do you have 16% of your backlinks for this specific keyword? Detox risk? No way, man. And this is even a mix of online, of positive, of active, broken. No. I get it. You want to rank for pest control. We see it. Google sees it as well, and you try hard. What I'm missing here is, where is Young's Pest Control? Young's Pest Control, co-UK, 2.5% of your backlinks are for the brand. Still, a couple variations, but we're talking about a few percent here, hidden.
Yeah, this I would say this looked like a tactic, by an SEO agency who is paid by results. So they spam a lot with one particular keyword that they want to rank for.
Yeah, and rat and mice control in Greater Manchester is
very niche.
one phrase that someone would type in. And we see the ad. And I'm not in Manchester. Obviously, you want the Manchester businesses should show up here. And it's not showing up in local. And by looking at the website itself, sorry. Oh my God, 6,300. I didn't show this before. High risk links, disavow it all. 5,000 links for very high risk.
Yeah, I wouldn't just look there,
No, just start your cleanup. Protect high risk links to broken pages. Disavow them. Redirect problems, strong no follow links. There are some links to improve, and there's obviously some training to be made. But when you look at the distribution, you look at all these toxic, 3/4 of these are. And just with this, I would click on recalculate risk. There are so many things that you could do here. And then when this is finished in a couple of minutes, which we don't have time to wait for, we will see the risk been down from 6,300 to probably
4,000.
4,000, which is still a lot of work to do, right? And finally, the last website that we have is Football Wood.
I think we can come back after we finalize Football Wood. We can come back and see how the score is.
I'm not sure, because then we might call it a day. After 2.5 hours, I'm done. I can tell you.
Sure.
You can see it in my face. Yeah, but look, man, Football Wood. I don't even need to look deeper. You have tons of virus and malware links. You don't want them. We always disavow them. The unavailable status, negative SEO, disavow. 10,000 links just being highly toxic. All these red ones, I would say you can safely start with, removing in bulk. And then you get notifications about something that might still be worth looking at. Yeah. And then you got, we even have this on-page issue here, a couple pages loading more than 5 seconds. Let me guess, it's WordPress that you run. And so this is not a surprise. Oh, you got anchor text with emojis. Cute. Wow. How long is the website to load? Is it done? 4.3 seconds. Oh, and even has a lazy loader. So this is something to work on in general. Not for SEO. I mean, yeah, page speed for SEO is important and all that, but for the user, if you don't run this on a strong connection like I have, you back out. You don't wait for this thing to load.
There is actually a lot of one tactic that I've seen used a lot in this particular link profile.
Yeah.
Which is website with images with
Oh God.
backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
So you post an image that somebody might download as their background, and then you credit yourself as an author to this website.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while I guess that this might work to some certain extent, but this domain has really a lot of these links.
So
So
the wallpaper spam. This is something that we see all the time. This is the globe coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Wallpaper spam. I don't know why wallpapers. I mean, they try to hijack your site authority for image search, and then that website shows up in image search, and then when you click on it, well, now it's banned. But it used to work, and then it redirects to some virus stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah,
there is really a lot of those sites in here.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's majority of the link profile. So
really,
yeah.
Let's look at wallpaper. Oh my God, look at that! Everything's red.
Definitely something to look on.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Oh man, and all these variations. I don't even want to see all of them. When I just say wallpapers here, like football would probably have some wallpapers, but for now, I just say, you know what? You tell me which pages you have with wallpapers. Until then, we disavow 2,100 links about wallpapers coming from websites with 2,000 or higher risk.
And this is already going to help really a lot.
Yeah. This is exactly the type of machete disavowing that Google suggested for years actually. Yeah. And you see here the breakdown by risk from all these links. This is even the worst. 93% have a high risk. So we see this here, and we see this here in the distribution by risk, the weighted risk. It's all spam, and all of that can go without even thinking twice in the first run. Keyword domain. Let's look. Oh, look. 91% of the backlinks come from domains that have zero rankings.
Zero authority.
Yeah, no rankings at all for all of that stuff. So I would say, maybe you say, I don't want a backlink from a website that doesn't have a single ranking. And we could disavow them all if it's really, crazy disavow. And you want to get out fast and have one disavow uploaded as soon as possible. My guess is that this website doesn't rank really well anyways for the page load speed for these wallpaper scraper sites, and apparently we didn't get a disavow file for this that covered that so far. And for the images, if it's on WordPress, Rick chimes in and says he would search for uploads on the to URL and pretty much lose them all. That's a good yeah, man, let's do it. So we have the to URL here. It contains uploads. Oh, speculating. Is it upload or uploads? Oh, wait, not the target redirect URL, just the URL where it goes to. The target URL. Okay, so these are 4,635 domains linking to your website where the URL has upload and the name and the path. And this is a WordPress site that Footballwood is hosted on. Yeah, we saw that. Yeah. And we already lost them all, Rick. In the previous process. Now let me see if we have a single one that is left.
I have small update on the Young Pest Control. It's already here. It's 123.
123.
Yeah, from
Wow.
6,000, right?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's gross. Yeah.
That was quick.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. See, this is how it looks like. 77% for Young Pest Control are from very low, and all these high risk are gone. Website Pest Control Manchester. That looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Let's look at these very low risk links, because sometimes, yeah, let's look at the non-disavowed ones, of course. The active ones. I should totally, I need this all the time. I should do a filter here. Disavow is empty, right? I entered this a couple times already. So I'm gonna save this filter. Not disavowed. And I think we should even, have this as a preset. You think this is a popular option?
Definitely is. I think actually when I was running some of the reports, it was already preset on some of those.
Okay. Yeah, we try to show as much as data possible. So, when you start with this, you see them all together, and you see the disavowed ones, of course. Yeah. But then when what was the thing? 123.
Yeah, that's a really improvement from 6,000.
Well, it is. We maybe disavowed some good links. 9 out of those 50,000 or so. And we still have some left that are not disavowed. Now let's look at this anchor text here. Website pest control. And these are all external links. So we haven't looked at the internal link distribution here at all. But what I can say is that looks really, really neat. And when we go back to the link profile, look at those low risk links. We're combining the not disavowed with the very low. So now we see the low risk links that are not disavowed. And by using link research tools like Excel, pressing Control and click on a tab, we just combined another filter. So we now have active, non-disavowed that are a low risk, low detox risk. I'm not sure why it says NA here. That's probably a bug, but the data is correct. Yeah. So these are 26 low risk links that are active that we might be looking into disavowing. But I have to say, none of these rules triggered. So if the system doesn't have a problem, let's sort by the follow, no follow. Okay, so there's a couple of follow links here only. Handyman reviewed, B2 embed, shop mirror, Dutch greenery. No, looks fine by me.
Yeah, I would say that this is again a context of how much you want to mitigate. So
yeah.
If you find that whatever we just did doesn't help you, then you can always get back there and to disavow even more.
Well, here's the thing. The next question that probably comes up that you guys hear all the time. I disavowed all my links and now all my rankings are gone. Well,
if you disavowed all your links.
right. Or there's the other guy who says I disavowed all my links and nothing happened. Then he didn't use Link Detox Boost. But what's important to know is we just remove links from the link graph. This means that any negative effect is taken away. But they don't transform magically into powerful, trusted links that you should be building anyways. So this is just for the cleanup. It's just for removing anything that holds you back. No new links are created here. I'm sorry.
I think it would be a viable explanation if it was a surgery, right? And you have a cancer growing somewhere, you just take your scalpel and, take out the cancerous
exactly.
cells and throw them away, and that's it.
Exactly. Yeah, great comparison. And so we're through with 5 sites and 2.5 hours. That's, wow, 150 minutes, Kamil. I really enjoyed this one with you, and
yeah, that was.
we could go on and on and on for this, but I have to say I'm done. This is
very good, and yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity, Christopher.
Yeah, you're welcome. And it's great to have guys like you that have been using link research tools for years in here to show me stuff and point me into the directions that you look at, or Rick chimed in as well. I'm a little bit disappointed from my point of view because we only scratched the surface on so many other things we didn't look at. We briefly touched on the competitive analysis. We briefly touched on the link opportunities, the simulation of links that we could build. And so I guess we just need to keep going with more and more websites and more examples. And we only have 5 of the prepared ones in here, right? In between, there were some questions coming. Oh, can you do this website? Can you do this website? And it's really fun for me. And I would love to, do all of them today. It's just not possible. And so I encourage you guys, to stick around for next time. Next week, Thursday, it's German.
Yeah.
And then in 2 weeks, it's English again.
Actually, I started to learn German so I can join and listen to it,
Oh, you certainly should. Yeah. We got some German clients in here as well. So grüß Gott to wherever you are. And hope to see you next week on Thursday. And, Kamil, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Christopher.
Also, thanks to my team who kept this running in the background with all these preparations and chats and whatnot. And so, yeah, awesome. You guys rock. Thank you very much. And we stop sharing. And guys are still around. Guys, go home. It's over.
Actually, for a second, we started to gain more audience.
No. We're a lot more than that. Still around. There's still questions coming up. No. Oh, no. So thanks. You're welcome.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James. Mario and Paula. Dad, still here? Or did you fall asleep here? Oh my God. Ignacio, Gladstone, Alexios, Paula. All right, guys. That's it. Bye-bye. I'm stopping the live stream on Facebook. I'm stopping this. Yeah, Rick, we're working smart. Oh, thanks, Dad. And so, yep, that's it. Stop sharing. And end the meeting. Bye-bye.